Today, former President Obama delivered the 2018 Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture, and it offered a number of critiques of Trump. We're going to get into those after I finish reading this article because it is very significant. Former President Obama on Tuesday appeared to offer a wide-ranging rebuke of President Trump, saying that those in power seek to undermine every institution of norm that gives democracy meaning. Obama, delivering the 2018 Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture in Johannesburg, warned that strongman politics are ascending suddenly, whereby elections, some pretense of democracy, are maintained, the form of it. He referenced strange and uncertain times, saying that each day's news cycle is bringing more head-spinning and disturbing headlines. One of his most direct criticisms toward Trump administration, they don't say duh, but toward Trump administration was over the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement, climate deal, saying that he can't find common ground with people who claim that climate change is a hoax when almost all of the world's scientists say it's real. And he also spoke about leaders who completely make stuff up in another apparent jab at Trump, saying that facts need to be upheld in order for democracy to thrive. We see the utter loss of shame in political leaders when they're caught in a lie and they just double down and lie some more, Obama said, warning that the undermining of facts and reality could be democracy's undoing. While some of Obama's comments appeared to be directed at Trump, the address in South Africa also touched upon the actions of autocratic leaders in countries across the world. Democracy depends on strong institutions, Obama said, calling on people to reject election results where the winner somehow gets 90% of the vote because all of the opposition is locked up or can't get on TV. Obama ended the address with a call for action to young people. My message for you is simple. He said, keep believing, keep marching, keep building, keep raising your voice. Okay, a couple of things to take away from there. Now, the part about Trump making false comments is true. Disturbing headlines, yeah, I guess so. But here's the thing, and I keep having to preface this by saying I am not a fan of Obama or Trump. And one of the reasons for that is that they do many similar things. So, for example, you have a former president now sitting here talking about defending democracy when during his tenure in office he imprisoned journalists with the Espionage Act. But I'm supposed to believe this is someone who is so in favor. And these journalists, mind you, were reporting acts by his administration which could be considered a violation of privacy as under the Patriot Act, which again they it's funny, they violate the Fourth Amendment by turning it into a law. But that's how corrupt the upper system is over here. See what else I can pull out of here that bothered me. I don't get how you can preach about democracy and you're involved with that. You have the Patriot Act, and just allow that to keep going on during your 8 years. But you can tell me about the pillars of what can be protected and privatized. And is Trump doing anything to get rid of the Patriot Act himself? No. But I'm not going to go after Trump for something that Obama did. I swear this speech, and it's sad that we've gotten to a point where I can't even defend against, like, you're going to have some who watch this and they'll say this person is secretly on Trump's side. This person is secretly on Obama's side. And if you watch the whole thing, I clarify that my issue with them is their similarities. Obama's correct when he talks about climate change being something that the scientists agree exists. Ask yourself this. If you also doubt climate change, as people around Trump have shown their viewpoint on, including our current vice president that liberals want to make president when they impeach Trump. If you were, let's say, just an average person, you're not a doctor, and then all the doctors get together and say, yes, you have a third heart. And again, you're someone who is not trained in this profession. You believe you know less than the people who are trained in this area of expertise. Would you not take their word over some fridge theory that someone online or some person running for office is spouting? I certainly would take their word. Think about it. What conspiracy with the scientists? But that's unrelated. We're getting into the actual policies. So the biggest thing to take away from this is that these presidents have a running theme of not wanting to criticize each other, and I can kind of get that. But if Obama is truly upset with the things that Trump is doing, why do we have to wait once a year for a speech? You can say, oh, he's not president anymore. Well, a couple of reasons. A lot of people who don't like Trump happen to like him. Because in my opinion, it's because they haven't been exposed to a number of the things that he did that are very much in line with what a lot of these Republicans get flack for, such as getting a Nobel Peace Prize and then getting us into 5 more wars. But even then, you still have a person who is popular with a group that already doesn't like Trump and can energize them. Obama's a very popular president in the U.S. Really for no reason other than his likability. And again, if the Democratic Party were smart, they would snatch him up from giving this lecture and have him go around and campaign. But I think this speech is I give it a 50-50 from what I've read the excerpts, in that it is accurate on the stupidity of refusing climate change's existence, the lies, the weird headlines, but it is completely almost nonsensical to have a man who during his tenure in office allowed for the surveillance and thereby violation of the Fourth Amendment, to tell you about the needing of democracy, all the while jailing journalists who reported on this act I just described to you. And it's even more disturbing when we have public information. Also, really, and we talk about the oligarchy. The main thing to take away from this is that whenever he talks about democracy, whenever Trump talks about democracy, whenever any of these politicians, except for I think 10 or 11 out of those members of Congress who we know aren't bought out, talk about democracy, I wish someone in the audience would just say, what about Citizens United? What about Goldman Sachs? What about these banks that are sticking all these dollars in your pocket to let them get away with doing anything they want? That's something that he's participating in or participated in just as much as Trump's doing now. But because he's not Trump and because people, get so turned on by the way he looks and his charisma, which he does have, they choose not to pay any attention to it. And this is something you've seen even on this channel. I did a video about 20-30 minutes long about some topic. Guy goes on there and talks about how I look, not what I actually have to say. And that's how they brainwash and manipulate people into voting for these corporatists such as Obama. They get you to focus on how the person looks and hear a little bit of what they're saying without doing any research and buy into the platitudes. And then you're caught and you're stuck with them for 4 to 8 years, which is what happened during both of his elections, what happened during Trump's election, what's probably going to happen either way it goes in the next election. It's the same game repeated, rinse and recycle. And every time I hear him, and this is not the first time he's given a speech about democracy, although I do think it's the first one since he's been out of office about this topic. And every time I hear him talk about democracy, that word, and the need for election and all this fairness, I just keep thinking about him being bought out, the corporatist angle. My main problem with him. What's been my main problem with him for years now. So maybe someone paid attention to what I had to say. Hopefully. Have a good day.